Hello, good morning everyone. It's me, Yuri. We're gonna stream some live coding again. So tell me if you see me, you can hear me, and let's start coding. I'd be also grateful if you told me which city are you from, which country are you from. You're probably all from Russia and Ukraine, but anyway, I'm curious where we are from. Yay, good. I'm gonna switch the screen now. Buenos dias, well, everyone. I'm gonna do this animation today. It's gonna be a simple one. I don't think it will take an hour. It's something probably under 1 hour. But anyway, we will do this today. Yeah, it's like you're the only one who like to share your city or what. Where are you from, guys? Come on. You got up on Sunday morning. See me. Can I make my mic a bit louder? Yeah, I think I can. I think it's just a bit too far from me. Does this make it any better now? Kherson, oh nice. Yo. Okay. Donetsk. Thanks, guys. 2 guys from Kherson. Leave. Alright. Let's start it. So, how did they make this wonderful animation? It looks pretty slick. It's kind of simple. It's like this block of, I don't know, different shades of red, and they have white also at some point. That is Ukraine. Yes, it is. But St. Petersburg and Novosibirsk are not Ukraine. Okay, so the first thing I do, I just look at the console log and I see that they have the FBX loader. So they probably use some kind of object or model in their script. So then I just want to look at the network tab and to see all the objects they are loading. And they have Plano FBX, something like that. Okay, I just loaded this FBX file, but I don't have any preview tool. Oh, hello to Minsk. I don't have any preview tool from this FBX, so I'm gonna look for online FBX preview, something like that. This one will do. And if I load this object, it's actually just a plane. It's almost a plane. It's like a cube or rectangular thing in 3D. But it's a plain object. It's like, it doesn't have any mountains and all this stuff. So to do this, I will probably need this 3D object. But I decided that I could do this animation without this 3D object. So let's try it. So first I'm gonna run my usual setup with a 3GS. Again, nothing special there, I just need something where I can put my 3D object, and so I don't have to set up the camera and the scene and all this stuff. Yeah. So create index.html, put the usual stuff there. And what? And probably if I run this with a parcel, I should see the red square. I call folder Milan. And if I run it, parcel index.html, let's see. So there are no persons in this chat who are not speaking Russian, right? Wonderful. this whole speaking English thing is going well. All right. And also, I think they're using Three.js in this folder. This is the second thought that I could get from all this, because this is 3 FBX loader. It's not just some FBX loader. So they are actually using Three.js. We're gonna try to replicate this with Three.js again, but without this object. What's that? I don't need that. Okay, got the red square. So first of all, I think I would like to do not the red square, but this kind of plain rectangular object. And the second thought that I need to remember, I think I would switch to, I will delete almost everything from this file. I don't need anything, no settings, no camera. No, camera I need, yeah. So it's just the plain geometry. This is the whole meaningful. All that is meaningful in my file is this part. I'm creating some material, and the only reason I'm doing that is just to use the shaders. Then I'm creating geometry, which is just the plain geometry for now, and then I'm adding this plane to my scene. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna rename this plane to this whatever, because this makes much more sense than this plane, obviously. And then because I don't need the plane, I need something not plane. I will use box buffer geometry, which should be cube. Yeah, it is cube, but I need to show the wireframes to see that it's cube. It's actually cube. But nice thing about cube is that it has lots of Three.js cube box. It's not cube, it's box. Has some settings inside, so it's not just the cube, but you could change a lot of parameters about this cube. Like you could change the detalization of the width and the height, and then just changing different, you know, amount of vertices you put into this cube. So if I put just height and depth segments, I will have this grid on one of the sides and something else on all of the others. Okay, so what else? That's why I need it more detailed, because I'm gonna be displacing this cube with some shader stuff, and so I needed more detalization for this cube. Try to reproduce sphere with the sine stuff. Yeah, that's true, because the performance you get depends on the number of pixels that you use on your screen, because it's ray marching. It calculates something for each pixel of your screen. It ray march each pixel of your screen. So you should lower the detalization inside the ray marching algorithm, or you should make less pixels. Maybe you should remove retina, because it's still blurred over the screen, so it doesn't really matter if it's retina or not. And you get some additional performance. Maybe removing device pixel ratio is the first thing you'd like to do. You don't want it to be retina. Next, box buffer geometry. So great. I need to add some detalization. Let's see how it works if I just add one parameter, maybe two. It's actually 3 parameters there. It's just width, height, and the depth. 10, 10, 1, for example. What we will get? No, I want to get like the most detailed part on top of the cube. Well, because of this, because I need it more detailed on the top. And let's try a bit more. I think it's like this: 10, 1, 10. Yeah. So now we get the detailed grid on top of the cube, and less detailed kind of grid on the sides. I think that's good. I like. And next we'd like to displace this grid. There are a number of ways we can do that. That's actually a pretty nice article about exactly this kind of special thing to do with the shaders. from Robert. It's pretty nice, and yeah, I advise you to read it. It's pretty good, and you can make clouds like that, and making clouds is actually the same as making something displacement. So actually, when you look at those clouds, it's same shit as you look here, for me at least. But let's see what they really use here to do this displacement. I could have used some noise function, but I know that the guys are using actually texture displacement. So let's get those two textures they use for displacement. They look like this. One is a bit this kind of pattern, and the other one is a bit more detailed. I think this is a photo of some rocks at the sea, something like this. And this, I don't know what this. You got some ideas what this might be? Just tell me in the chat what this is. All right, I'll name them 1 and 2 respectively. So I'll put them in my folder so I could get both of those. I should load them, import them, import T1 from, guess what, 1 PNG, import T2 from 2 PNG. Hi Yuri, where are you from, Anix World? Are you from World? Okay, I got T1 and T2. I need to load them in my material now, so I can access them in my shader. I'll name the variables T1, and this is T for texture, and then U3 texture. Actually, I want to make it here. It's called TT1. TT1. Texture loader, and then load, and then T1, and then same goes for 2. TT2. So yeah, as I told already in the Twitter, it's actually kind of basic entry point stuff to use shaders. So I could have used, instead of this material, I could have used what I could have used. I could have used 3 mesh, normal material. I think they have it. I hope. Yeah, and we will see the color of the normal of each side of the cube. And it will change because I'm rotating the cube and normal changing, and that's why the color is changing, but the face that's facing me, it's always going to be blue because it has the coordinates. Guess what? 0, 0, 1, and that's blue because it's RGB and B is blue. All right. And you can see that the green is always on top because the coordinates of this normal vector is what? 0, 1, 0, because it's pointing at the top. This is the Y coordinate, and Z pointing at me, and X is going horizontally through my screen. Hey, Michael, from Bangladesh. Oh, really? Bad focused on microscope? Oh yeah. Oh, that's. I thought you were talking about me, but you're speaking of this image probably. Yeah, that's right. That looks like that. Okay. Let's see what next. So, to do the displacement, usually vertex vector is used, vertex shader is used. And let's see what I have in my vertex shader by default. Well, nothing real. This is the only stuff I have. And I don't even need this VUV. What I have in my fragment shader, just 1 line. So it's 2. I'm starting almost from scratch now. It's empty shaders. So first of all, my textures are named T1, T2, and same in the fragment shader. Then I need to put some UVs. So I just deleted that, but VUV equals UV. And let's see what's UV. UV is some coordinate system on each side of my cube. Yeah, that's because I need to remove now mesh normal material and replace it with the, yeah, that's where my thought went. So I just wanted to show you that you can use any kind of material, and the only reason I'm using shader material is, okay, to use shaders. So now we would see some gradients, probably, maybe. This material, T1, T2, vertex, VUV equals UV. And then in the fragment shader I have this VUV. Why it's black? I'm wondering why it's black. I'll remove wireframe stuff. Maybe just box geometry. No. Where did my UVs go? I should have my UVs here. Should have seen some kind of gradient. Any ideas why I don't see that? Just put a link, Anix, and we'll see the website. Maybe I will make a breakdown of the website later on. Now we're starting with the stupid. I don't know why. I don't actually need these UVs. I just wanted to show you that we have it, but we don't have it because no. UVs are coming from the geometry. It's geometry attributes, and they should be there. Like they're coming from this part, from the cube. That's where I got the UVs. Why I don't have them? I have no idea, but we can visualize the coordinate system anyway. I just wanted to show you that we have some coordinates in my UVs. So we could, instead of UV, I could use, let's call it vec3 new boss equals position, because we're going to be displacing it now. And I could use position xy, for example. And we see the gradient only on one of the sides of the cube. Maybe, why? Oh. Ouch. This is a subtle but important mistake because I was declaring VUVs again, and this is already a variant that is being declared previously on the script. I was overriding it and it lost the meaning, so I could just make this again. It's just gonna work. Yeah. So now we have our UVs. This is all those mistakes that you will make if you try to do something with the shaders. It's very subtle, but yeah. So if I just add here, redeclare it, I'm gonna lose all the information that I'm getting. Okay, so this is UV coordinates for each side. I can put any image on those, and let's actually do that. Let's put this image. We could put this image like this. For color equals texture 2D T1 VUV. And then instead of this, I'm gonna just set color. And I should see this weird microscopic thing on each side of the cube. This is actually quite simple to do without shaders even. You can just set the map, I think the map attribute for the material, and you'll get this image on each side of the square. Not a biggie. But I wanna do the displacement. To do the displacement, I need to read the texture inside my vertex shader. And let's just do that. I'm gonna call it for bump 1 because I have two textures, texture 2D from T1 and then VUV. Maybe just UV. And instead of just using this bump, I don't know, whatever, I can use this bump to change the displacement. Relaxing Sunday morning shaders. Say hi to Dana. Okay. I can now displace this new pose. So this new pose, y coordinate because it is the one pointing upwards, and I can change it with this bump 1 red, but I think it might be x because this is you know, this is color. It has 3 coordinates, and XYZ is actually the same as RGB. I can read whatever I want to either X or R. And I need to set this new pose here because been there, made those mistakes. And let's see what we get. Yeah, and we get this weird displacement. So depending on the color, if the color is bright, like white, we get the displacement equals 1. So the height of the cube is actually 1, and you got almost the same distance on top. And you get the same kind of displacement at the bottom. It's like the bottom of the bottle of wine, I guess. They make these weird holes in there. So I can make it smaller, probably like 5 times smaller. And yeah, and you get this small hills on top of the cube. But that's not enough. I probably need to move this whole thing. So I need to come up with another like UVs. I don't actually need, maybe I do need, let's leave it for a while. So I can like UV1, which is gonna be just the UV plus time. And let's replace the UV1, the just UV with UV1. Oh, it's a lot of UVs. I think I'd rather remove this coloring stuff. Let's leave it with the gradient. And let's also change the angle of the camera because I don't really like that now. We can't really see the displacement. We need to rotate it all the time. And it's like XYZ now. Maybe I should make it 2, 2, 2. Like that. And then let's try to put it on the one screen. So I could code and preview it at the same time. I think I also don't need this panel. Where is this handle? Yeah, it's right here, usability. Okay. What else? I don't need JavaScript for now. I don't need this, I just need the vertex shader, and then let's see the bump data, if it's actually changing anything in my screen. Well, it does not, because I think the time goes too fast. Let's multiply it by something small, so we see, yeah, so we see these mountains, but once the texture goes away, you see this is flat here. So when the texture goes from away from me, the displacement stops. Also, we had this weird hole here. Let's try to change the displacement thing we are doing. For now, we're just displacing position depending on the UVs. But those UVs, you see the UVs is just the number, and this number is different for this green pixel, because it's this number is actually this color, and you see that those colors are different. That means that numbers and the values of those UVs on these 2 points are different, and that's why we're getting different displacement for these 2 points. Like they're not together now. So to change this, first I think need to replace UV with some coordinate system which is kind of UV, but which doesn't change when the pixel goes through this edge. And this is actually just position xz. Let's just change it to position xz. Yeah, and because the cube is in the center, you see this whole part is black. That's because it goes from -0.5 to +0.5. So to change that, I just need to add this. It's going to be the same again, same bright. Now we still have this displacement, and we still have this hole here, for whatever reason. Okay, let's continue for now, and let's see how we can fix this hole. So I only changed the point I was trying to make, it's flat. When the texture goes away, it's just flat. To change that, we need to use free mirror wrapping. So I need to use those textures with a mirroring 3JS. I think it's texture content, constants, wrapping, and it's mirror it, repeat, wrapping. That's what I need. And I need to set wrap S and wrap T to change that. App.js, I should go to app.js, tt1, wrap S, wrap T, same for tt2. We got two TTs, TT1 and TT2. And where's my preview? And what you see now is the texture is being continuously moving. You see the mountains are not disappearing anymore. They have this displacement and it goes correctly. And so I think the reason they are changing because it's not so detailed yet. So to make it more detailed, you see the mountains are a bit edgy here. Like I got not so many vertices. To change that, I will need to change this geometry. So instead of using 10, I might use 200. I still have this hole. I wonder why, but let's see in a bit of a time. Alrighty, so now I have these nice looking mountains, but I need to add another texture. You remember we got two. So let's add another one in the vertex shader. Okay, TT1, bump 2, T2, and let's use something else like the other UVs. Well, yeah. For now, let's use the same one, and I'm gonna do this bump 2x. I'm gonna just add them and divide them by 5, and let's see what I see. And I'll get this. I don't think this is too much of a displacement going on here, so I'll probably need to make one of them less, less powerful, So I can use two textures, but I can zoom in and zoom out of them because they're repeated the whole time. And you get this noise impression now because it's kind of look random, but it's just two textures moving the whole time. So first of all, I will make them different, so it kind of lives in time, make them move in a different directions. And now you see it's almost like a living thing. Now they're changing when they're moving in time. Okay, good. Next thing I'd like to do, I think I need to only to change the displacement of the vertices that are on top of the screen. And to do that, I think I can use something like top, like float top equals yeah, probably the next one will be in English too. Top equals step function, and because I have the y coordinate on a vertical space, I can use position y and compare it with 0. So now if I multiply my displacement with this value, and this value is either 0 or 1. So it's 1 when it's, I think, higher than the 0 plane, and it's 0 when it's lower than the 0 plane. So I can multiply this with top, and I would see nothing because I didn't put dots after my 0. Well, I think it's the other way around, so I could just switch those parameters. Because step just returns either 0 or 1. Now I got this. This is amazing. This is almost what we are heading for. Now I still have this hole here. Why do I have it? What's the reason behind it? Okay, let's first see the wireframe. Maybe it gives me some idea, like why it's not continuous. So on this edge, I'm actually calculating the displacement depending on the x and z position of the vertex, and it should be the same for the edge vertices because the x and z position are the same for them. But it's not, because why? I think I would also need to zoom this texture because this is two small mountains. Yeah, too small mount. So VUV1, to zoom, I would just need to multiply it or divide it with something like 0.2. Let's see what changes. Oops. Yeah, now they are smaller, and maybe VUV2, I will multiply it, I don't know, 0.5. Now it looks more like what I wanted here and what I wanted to see, because they're kind of natural looking stuff. So why do I have these edges here, these holes in my object? Any ideas, guys? Do you have them? Okay, it should be the same because the displacement is just the function of this variable. Oh no, it's not. It's not, because I'm still using UV parameter here. I'm not using this, so I'm gonna use it like UV1. I'm gonna set it UV1, and that's why we have this hole, because we still have the edge on. We have still the edge, and it's different values for those two vertices. And I need to put UV1 here on both sides, and we're gonna have it smooth now. We are not having it smooth because of reasons, probably. Because I have some error, undeclared identifier, of course. Vector 2, let's see. Now we have it uncolored because I'm not setting UVs, but let's UV equal UV. So we have the colors again. Yeah, now it's smooth. Now it's on the edge, it's still smooth. The colors are different, but it's smooth because the function now goes off. This is now the function from position, not the function from the UVs. Okay, next thing to do, I'm gonna create the variant to color this stuff. So it's actually already like the same thing that we saw in the Milan. It's just not colored right yet. So let's color it the right way. So this value, this value goes from 0 to 0.2, and I can come up with a new variable which is gonna be displace equals maybe height. No, let's call it height equals this. And then I'm gonna divide it by 2.5 just so I get the same value, and multiply this by height. And this float height, I could actually make it now a variant. So I'm gonna call it v height equals height. I need to declare it here because I need to use it in a fragment shader. That's why I'm doing this. And I need to get it here. So now this v height, just instead of VUV, I can use this v height. And let's see what we get. This looks kind of like in the example, but on the highest point of, okay, I'll need to remove the wireframe now to get the colors. But on the highest point of my object, it's just red, and on the bottom it's just black. It's not that interesting. And to make it interesting, we can use even textures. We can use anything we want. And you know what? Because I only have one brother and he has a birthday today, I'm gonna set one of the textures to his age, just to, just because I want that. So he's an old guy already. I'm gonna make it bigger. And maybe this will get you an idea how you can use displacement maps with the vertex shader too. We'll probably need to make it even bigger than that. And then I need to blur it, filter, blur. Gosh, blur. Okay, this should be enough. And I'm gonna save it. Desktop, PNG, better JPEG. Come on, stop asking me questions. And instead of one of my textures, I'm gonna just load this for now. What? It's 45 JPEG. Oh, because it's too white, I guess. And this makes it too much of a displacement. Let's make it this. Right, okay. And I think I zoomed out of it. Yeah, that's the reason, because I'm multiplying it. I shouldn't multiply it, and then we'll just see it. Yeah, so now we see it. Yeah, I need to change the, I need to flip it also. Okay, let's for now leave it at that. Now you see that you can use any kind of image, just draw it, just a black and white image in the end, and you can just add the textures there. Boom, boom, boom. What else, what else, what else? White 2. Okay, okay. Okay, let's make it beautiful again. For some reason, I lost the second texture. It's like I don't have it. Why? I'm only seeing one texture for now, for some reason. PNG, I think I spoiled it at some point. Bump 1, bump 2. App.js, 1, 2 PNG. T1, T2, T1, T2. But for some reason, if I just remove this, it's just too small of a displacement. It's there, but it's too small. Maybe I shouldn't divide it, actually. Maybe I shouldn't divide it right here, yeah. Well, maybe I should. I'm just trying to play with the values to make it more natural looking. Let's leave it at that. That's good enough for now. What I wanted to show you the last thing is how to color those, how to make those beautiful colors that they used actually. You can use an image here. You can just load the PNG and use it. But this, the other thing that you can do, we can set 3 colors, like red, and I think they have some shade of other color here, probably. Like it's bead blue. Oh, because I know which are the colors here, let's use 3 colors. First color is going to be white. It's going to be equal like 4, 1, 1, 1, 1. It's just a white color. Second color will make red, and it's going to be the red that they use here. And this red is something like, it's not completely red, but something like this, because I know the values. Right, later on we can try to change them. And I also want some kind of blue, which is almost black, which is gonna be playing the black part in this animation. So just 3 colors, nothing else. Now I need to map those 3 colors to make a gradient out of those. To do that, I can use the smooth step function. Smooth step is actually just the function that smoothifies. Smooth step. Yeah, it's just like this. Just make a smooth transition between 2 values. So I can use, I have this v height, which goes from 0 to 1 exactly, because it's this value, height, which is just 2 numbers from 0 to 1, and the average between them. And I can map, so I can make the final color variable, which is going to be like final color equals mix between 2 colors. First color is going to be blue, and then it's going to be red, for example, between blue and red. Should look almost the same as it's looking right now, but to this last value, if it's going to be 0, it's going to be blue. If it's going to be 1, it's going to be red. So I'm going to make this value smooth step, and this is going to be like 0.2, 0.6, 7, whatever, and then this v height. And let's see what it's going to be. So the color would be blue when this value is lower than 0.2. The color would be red when this value is bigger than the 0.7, and between those values it's going to be just the gradient. This is how the smooth step works. And we see this nice color now. When it goes to the bottom, it's just, you know, blueness in there. And I think I made it too blue. I should make this. It's going to be more blackish now at the bottom. Yeah, now we start to get the same colors that they get, but they also have the white color. And I think I should color this not from 0.2, from 0. Yeah. Closer to the colors that you use. And then I need to mix the white color in there, and I need to make white when it's bigger than something. So I'll mix the previous color with the white, and I'm gonna use again smooth step function to make a gradient, but now it's gonna be 0.7 and 0.9. So it's going to be still the same color that I already got when it's less than 0.7, when the height is less than 0.7. Between 0.7 and 0.9 is going to be some gradient to white, and then when it's more than 0.9 it's going to be just white. Let's see. And you see that we have this gradient and this color on the sides just because this is a function of position. Like, it's calculated from the position, so UV is calculated as a function of position xz. It's going to be the same value for all the sides. It's not the same for the bottom. You can see this noise, you can see the noise on the bottom without displacement because of this top value. And now when it goes above the 0.9, it's going to go white. But I think I have some mistake in my shader, so it's almost the thing we would like to do in this stream, but I think I messed up something with my textures. So it's T1, T2. So I'm gonna try to change it to bump 1 and see, and it's just flat. So bump 1 is just flat, because why? And bump 2 is normal, right? So I'm only seeing one texture for now. Yeah, bump 2 is normal. But what's wrong with bump 1? So it's texture 1, maybe I messed up something here, TT1, TT2. Do I have some mistakes? Okay, network. image, unload into textures, but for whatever reason I'm not having the second texture, my vertex shader. What could be the reason for that? Do you maybe see some mistakes in my code? Displacement with video, yeah, of course you can do displacement with video, but there's no reason to do that, but you can do that. I think it's easier to move textures than to... Why do you think I should multiply that by 0.5? Well, I can do that, of course, but... Okay. Oh no, I have this, I have it here. I think I need to multiply. I have the displacement. I'm just looking at the wrong angle at my... I still have the displacement. I just maybe should make it bigger than that. So I have bump 1, bump 1. Let's have it bump 1, bump 2 now. And I will multiply bump 1 with something like 3. And now I should divide it by 4. Maybe I shouldn't zoom this much. Maybe I should move it just... Maybe I messed up this. Maybe I should just change the position of those to look a bit better, and I should place this back again. I think I zoomed out the wrong texture. Yeah, I think it's more like what we need to do now. Maybe even bigger. Yeah, I think it looks kind of closer to what we were intending to do. Yeah, I think I just zoomed the wrong texture. I zoomed the one that was this one, and it became even more flat. It is flat, you know, it's kind of so blurred. And then, yeah, this is it. We can also add some small detail. I think I had some bookmark with the mouse speed, and you can notice that if you move the mouse, it moves a lot faster, and there's some kind of interactivity here. So I can get something here, like should be some code here. Yeah, here it is. Just any mouse velocity calculation function. Just add it. There are plenty of those online. I think I should just declare this speed x equals 0, speed y equals 0. Change these. Lots of vars here, but who cares? And then here, and then on my mouse movement, the speed x and speed y are gonna change. Let's just preview them for now. Mouse speed. Okay, I should run the function probably that I just added. Mouse. Yep. Yes, now we have this mouse speed. It's just the x part of the mouse speed, but anyway. And now what I can do here to make it interactive. So I have my time flowing in a linear way for now. What I want to do, I want to add something like math apps, mathspedics divided by 1000, let's say. Yeah, let's try. So now when I move mouse, it's gonna leave faster. I think the other thing I could do here is add inertia, so I can, yeah, you see the mouse speed got real big now. I remove the mouse, so I can add this I will add inertia, and we'll end this final speed equals 0, and then final speed equals this. Oh no, yeah, equals this, on each frame. Multiplied by some value, like 0.9, for example. So it goes to 0 when the SpeedX is not changing, it's gonna go to 0. Yeah, something like that. Maybe I should play with the coefficients here to make it more interactive, but that's it. So now we have these mountains coming to you. We have this camera set up, and it's actually the same. They just made the object a bit higher, so you can see it right here. I think the other thing we could do, we could make it an orthographic camera. So instead of using the usual camera, I'm gonna use an orthographic one. It should look a bit better with orthographic camera. To zoom with orthographic camera, I should change the frustum size. It's closer to what we see in the Milan now. Almost. I could change the XY to 0.5 maybe. Yeah, it's something like 0.7 probably. Yeah, so here we go. We got the final animation. And what I like about this particular animation, that you had to use vertex shader with an image to displace each vertex, and it looks good because I use repeat wrapping with a mirrored repeat wrapping, you remember, and it goes continually, infinitely, and well, that's it. I think I should change to 45 again, JPEG. I think it doesn't go well with the meaningful stuff in the image, but it looks kind of nice. Okay, maybe this one better. So now we should see the 45 number floating to the texture. Okay, if you have some questions, guys, just ask me. And meanwhile, I'm gonna flip canvas horizontally. I'm gonna save it again. I'm gonna save it to here. So I'm dedicating this animation to my brother. I love 45, but because it's zoomed so much, you only see this 45 like a bit too much over the zoom here. But you still see it, and this is the mountains in the form of 45 number that are being displaced. And I think you can get that you can come up with lots of amazing animations with this technique. Like you can displace it with any kind of shape, video, whatever, and it's gonna look pretty cool. Yep, I think I also should have made that bigger. This is the last thing I'm gonna do here. Yeah, nice pipaka. I don't think so, but I'm not sure if this is a nice idea. So maybe I should, it's already almost an hour. I think you should make it a homework. It's not really hard to do. It's gonna be still the same texture and you can just use it. Okay, that's it. I hope you like that. I wish you a good day. Sleep more, guys, because sleeping is happiness. Add text into 3. There are lots of ways to add text into 3. There's just 3 text geometry, I think, which you can just load the font and just add the text. There are a bunch of other ways where you can use text as a texture. You can just draw something in Canvas 2D and then you can get this texture. And there's also, I think there was even in ToonPanels, there was an article which specifically dedicated to using text in a 3JS. Okay, it's not here. Maybe the next one. Create text in 3JS with FreeBM font. Here you go. There are many ways to do that. It depends on what you need from this text. So guys, have a nice one. Have a nice Sunday. If you want to support me, you can support me on Patreon. If you want to wish me something good, it's right time to do that. Otherwise, happy Sunday. See you in a week probably. But follow the announcements on Twitter because I'm never sure if I'm gonna have a stream tomorrow on Saturday. I will answer all the questions in chat and I'm ending this stream.